All right. Whoa, that was fast. That was loud. Welcome to the Monday, April 7th, 2025 second meeting of the day. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Marquardt.
Here.
Commissioner Matherly.
Here.
Commissioner Bella.
Here.
And can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, number 1, discuss, hear public comment and consider approval of ordinance number 13-05 to modify the violations and penalties section of solid waste ordinance number 25-04.
All right, Commissioners, for the solid waste ordinance, Section 8 was modified, which is penalties. And the language was, we've discussed it before, the language has changed so that the code enforcement officers can choose to charge first and second and I think even third offense. And a person's only subject to the penalty. And the reason for doing this is if jail time is at play, then public defender is rated, and so is a jury trial, and that makes the process 6 months. Virtually, easily 80% of, 60% of potential violators are probably going to qualify for a public defender. And they're just going to complicate it and slow it down and play games. Without that, if they're going to move forward, there's no other options, and a penalty or a fine will be assessed. And this leaves the option if the fines aren't working, then at a certain point, jail comes back as an option. And I would hope that wouldn't happen, but I suppose that some situations might warrant it. But this is just to speed it up and get impacts quicker and easier to get compliance.
So what happened to the time when you could issue a ticket, they had 15 days to rectify it or whatever, and you come back and it wasn't? Why can't you just arrest them right then, take them to jail, then get the quickness going?
Because we got to pay for a public defender.
Yeah.
They're not ever going to fix none of this stuff until it gets, well, I understand what you're saying there with the public defender. It's still not going to cost them nothing.
Yeah, it doesn't cost them anything. So the judge says, you rate a public defender because you're facing jail time. Do you want a public defender? And they're like, well, I get an attorney? Sure. And then the attorney plays games and draws it out.
So in the event that somebody doesn't pay their fines over and over and over, then it's prosecutable.
It is, yeah.
Oh, so you have to charge them with a crime not paying for their fines, then they don't pay it again, then an actual warrant goes out. Is that the right?
And if they don't, the fines are going to be court ordered. So if they don't pay, they're going to be in contempt of court, and a bench warrant would be issued.
Okay, and so no public defender until the bench warrant is served?
I would have to check on how that works, but they're gonna go to either gonna pay the fine or they're going to jail on the bench warrant. But for the processing of that, at that point, they might rate a public defender, but they're stuck in the position where it's pay the fine or stay in jail.
Okay.
And it's possible to charge this in a way where it could be a lot of money, because each day the violation exists, each day can be charged separately as an offense. So you could choose to charge 10 days and at $100 a pop, be facing 1,000 or If it's the max, 3,000.
5,000.
5,000 is for a specific.
That's for hazardous material.
Yeah, that's hazardous materials, and then, there's, and then that's in line with state statute. And 1,000 for, disposing,
So what happens, they completely disregard everything, they sit in jail because they're not paying the fine, and the county goes in and cleans it up, and then we put a lien on the property. Is that double jeopardy?
no, the lien is, that's separate and the civil side. So we have civil options and then criminal options, and we can pursue both, even at the same time.
Okay.
Ultimately, we just want them to clean up the property. I mean, that's, just clean it up.
I'm good with it. That's
Okay.
the only questions I had.
Do you have any more questions, or you still reading?
Well, the one deal right here says after 4 violations in a 12-month period, the way that is worded, if it's the same, say they haven't picked this trash up and they get 1 violation, and they come back and it hadn't been done, 2 violations, when that adds up to 4, it's not less than a $300 fine, which may not be suspended or deferred advertisement, sentence, imprisonment up to 90 days, or both fine and imprisonment. So it's gonna take a whole year of that process to get it settled.
This leaves, that could be, as far as violations, we could view that as convictions, or just if it's been a problem person, we know it, each day is a separate offense. So 4 days of violations could be charged under this. Trying to make as much flexibility and provide creativity for code enforcement to attack this.
So, okay, so what does this mean? After 4 violations in a 12-month period? So you can't, if you get 4 violations in 4 weeks on the
Then-
same deal,
yeah.
then it can go to.
Within, so if I had one in 2023 and one in 2024 and one in 2025 and one in 2026, I have 4, but it's not in a 12-month
Right.
period. So
But
they
like-
just need to be in, from July last year to July of this year, that if they got 4 in that window, then they could be charged under
I
that.
got, okay, I see how you,
So like the Bulls Acres guy that refuses,
yeah.
you could basically go in every week and write them something, and there's your 4.
I didn't know if they had a certain period of time for correction after a violation, before you could violate them, write another violation.
The judge has some leeway in there to give them some time to correct, but, they're gonna be responsible for the fine, and,
And that fine gets paid to the court,
yeah, it doesn't go to us.
and then how does it get back to us?
It doesn't.
We're not making any
State,
money.
state.
Well, I'm glad we're making the state money.
But if the county proceeds to clean it, there'll be a lien placed on for charges, right?
Yeah, again, that's the separate lane. But, yeah.
So Matt, don't clean any property if the lien's gonna be more than what the property is worth.
Okay. That takes out some of them that we're looking at.
All of them? All of them?
The like 2 or 3 of them in Dunnigan, that would definitely take them out, because it's just.
And I was kind of joking about that, but I mean, it's,
Well, but it's true, because there's one that we think is probably gonna cost close to $100,000 just to clean up, and the property's not worth it.
Okay, I make a motion to approve ordinance number 25-04 to modify the violations and penalties section of solid waste ordinance.
I'll second it. All in favor?
aye.
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 Okay, number 2, discuss, hear public comment, and consider approval of ordinance number 24-02, amendment of modification of section 14 of the junked vehicle ordinance number 2503.
It's just the same exact wording. I can't see anything different.
Section 14.
Yep,
Should be blue.
it's not blue, but it looks like the same wording as the one we just passed, right?
Yes, it is
Yeah.
the exact same wording.
I don't have any blue, I have some black.
Yeah,
So previously it said, any person violating provisions shall be deemed to be guilty of a misdemeanor and shall be punished as provided by MSA section 4-37-3. So that's crossed out. And then the exact same thing you just voted on in the previous solid waste ordinance is placed in there as A through F.
So in this ordinance, RB, is there a car limit to where it classifies as a salvage yard? Are you giving them like a 5-car, 15-car?
it's state statute,
It's what?
state statute,
What does state statute say?
7 cars.
7? Other than that, it's classified as a salvage and it
That's
has
right.
to be the fenced in and?
Yep,
And then a problem that we've run into is where it's not a salvage yard, but someone running a mechanic shop out of their house, and they have several cars that they're working on for people, and they're running a business. We don't have any business licensing, or registration, or zoning, so.
There's the illegal business.
not in the county,
Not in the
In the
county.
county.
but for the state, it is.
If they're running a bit, if they don't have any kind of tax IDs and stuff, and
Yeah, but that's what
But
the
it's
state.
not a county.
It's not our
Yeah.
business.
It's state.
Yeah, I mean, they could have a sole proprietorship and then it's under their social security number for taxes.
But the state requires quarterly EPA inspections, federal and state reporting for vehicles, NCICs on every single vehicle, the proper dismantling of batteries, oils, and all of that.
Is that for salvage,
Yep.
just salvage? What about just if you're doing a repair shop?
The mechanic shops, I think, are regulated by the disposal of oils. But I think what we need to look at, if somebody's claiming to be a mechanic shop and they have dismantled vehicles that they're borrowing parts off of to fix the other cars, that is a dismantler.
That's,
so what if you go out there and there's 4 or 5 cars there and there's oil stains all underneath of them and they haven't moved obviously in years and the tires, batteries, antifreeze and everything's still in them? That would be an environmental thing, wouldn't it?
That's the
Regardless
EPA.
of state again, but
State again, yeah.
but you could do inspection for the county as far as environmental misdemeanor, can't you? Or
We usually yield that one over to the EPA, because as soon as we get involved, the EPA has been saying, oh, code enforcement's on it, and they won't do anything.
but the scenario you just put forth sounds like what, a good case for a junk vehicle under this. So it's, It's gonna be a gray area sometimes, but others are gonna be pretty clear.
And on page 5 of this, right up at that first paragraph, the last sentence, it says, "Such storage areas shall be kept free of," I think that's supposed to be weeds, not weeks. We just need to fix that.
That is not, we can only fix the section that we have, up, which is
Listed.
14.
Yeah, we can only fix this.
Okay.
I mean, I could probably fix a typo, hopefully. We can,
It's just a typo, you could.
yeah. You said top of page 5?
Yes, in that first paragraph, the last sentence in the first paragraph, C.
Oh, weeks, free of leaks.
You don't want to keep it free of weeks?
I make a motion to approve ordinance number 25-03, the amendment of modification of section 14 of junk vehicle ordinance.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, number 3, discuss your public comment and consider approval of an amendment of ordinance number 24-01, lodger's tax ordinance number 2502.
So does Marketplace pay us taxes? Or you're just considering it a lodging facility if they're advertising on Marketplace?
This is to capture Airbnb and Vrbo and companies that are doing that are facilitating the booking or the renting of temporary lodging. And it's leaving it so that we can have the option to get them to collect and pay it to us. Or if we opt not to do that, we can collect directly. The lodger still has an obligation. If a lodger, or not a lodger, if a owner is using Airbnb, they're ultimately responsible for the tax being paid. But if we have in place that we're getting it from Airbnb or Vrbo, they can rely on that being collected by what is a marketplace provider or Airbnb or Vrbo and turning it in. Carl and I talked back and forth, and he's talked with some different counties, and some have talked about challenges with trying to get it from Airbnb and Vrbo, and that it was more efficient to not go through them. So we're just but in discussions with Airbnb and Vrbo, they said unless this type of language was in our statute, they definitely wouldn't enter into an agreement with us to collect it and pay it. And I don't remember which one said which, but one of them said, this language needs to be in there, and our competitor needs to agree to do it too. If they don't have to do it, we're not gonna do it.
Well, James mentioned something when he was in here today about the lodger's tax, some program that would notify them.
Mm-hmm. And this would, that would assist us in identifying them and keeping track of companies that are places being used as short-term rentals. It might assist in the collection of it. So there's a couple different programs we're looking at that. It's we need to get something in place, but we're waiting. One step was getting this updated so that we could start having the discussions with the Airbnb and Vrbo, because the majority of rentals are going through them.
Was that the program he was talking about today? Were you, wasn't here, was that what he was talking about?
Yeah, the identification of it. On section 8, it says coordinate with Otero County to establish policies and procedures for the collections. Is that just for Marketplace?
For the marketplace providers, yeah.
So-
Separately, lodgers have to comply with the sections that, so A would cover everyone that's not a marketplace provider. Or well, actually, so for vendors and the collection,
Don't start doing that.
There.
okay, so section 7 covers vendors and collecting it from them or owners. And then previously, section 8 just had paragraph A talking about vendors maintaining records. And so I added paragraph B to require the marketplace providers to coordinate with us to establish policies on whether they're going to collect it or not, and then if they are collecting it, maintaining records and providing us access to those.
I'm good.
So what did you change in this?
It's blue.
Mine's not blue, mine's.
Mine's not blue neither, but I don't even know where.
I got all kinds of blues.
Yeah, mine's all black and
Start at
white.
the beginning and go through each section with you real quick.
I don't even have any with black lines in them.
So under section 3,
So this is the third page, F, lodging. Yeah,
That's right,
and then
right there.
so added G, definition.
All that right there.
G1 and
Marketplace
2.
provider.
All the way down to here?
Uh-huh, yeah, that's all new.
So paragraph G, subparagraph 1 and 2 is just creating the term marketplace provider, which
Is that where it says other information?
yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
where are you guys at? Oh, the other information.
We're in.
yeah.
Okay.
And marketplace provider? Just that one sentence, right?
Yep,
Including, because where the first word is.
after the comma. Did you flip the page? Where are you at?
I thought I'm looking over toward hers, or did I?
It's this one right here, where it says other. No,
Yeah,
right after the comma. That including, that's where the change starts right there.
that's where it starts, okay.
And then the next page, under section 7A,
Okay, that last sentence?
therefore, and it starts with and, all the way to the end.
Okay.
And the next page, this resolution number is in blue. And all of section 8 is blue. And that's it. Thought it was mine.
Oh.
So everybody good with this one? Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the amendment of ordinance 25-02, lodger's tax.
Oh, second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, number 4, discuss your public comment, consider approval of ordinance number 17-07, amending section 9.1 of the personal policy ordinance number 25-01.
This is the holiday.
It's just compensating the 10-hour workers accordingly for the leave that day.
Is it in blue?
Yes, on section 9.1 in blue. You should, well,
Nine.
Only only Amy looks like you have the
Yeah.
open one, because I think what she did is she printed one and then made copies.
Then made copies.
Okay.
I think that's what happened.
9-1.
Yeah, it's down at the very bottom. There you go, yeah.
So, second row at the end of this, it says employees working standard 5 days work week and 10-hour pay for eligible. Working standard 5-day work weeks.
9-1.
So you're making accommodations for
8.
those that work for 5 days and those that are working for?
8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and 10
See where it's kind of
for
lighter?
10s.
Oh,
Okay.
That way, the
Working.
10 hours don't have to take
And
those
then-
2 hours of leave anymore.
All the way
Okay.
That's
down
what we've
there.
done here.
I
Real
totally
simple.
agree with that.
okay.
And that's the only sentence in this one?
That's the only change to that.
Yay.
Okay. Are
I
you
make a
good?
motion to approve ordinance 25-01, amending section 9.1, the personnel policy.
Oh,
I'll second.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Does anybody have anything else?
I make a motion
Please
to
say no. Yes. We are adjourned.
Hallelujah. You said 30 minutes, you're right.